Hi, and welcome to a podcast. This is your host, Dragon Scorpion, coming at you on a Sunday afternoon. It's miserable and wet here. I'm nice and cozy, warm inside. I just want to talk to you about a few things. Obviously, I watched the PlayStation Experience, which I will go through my thoughts in a minute. The first thing I want to bring up is the Batman versus Superman trailer. Um, I'm slightly impressed with it, but in other areas, I'm not. Um, I'm not liking the way it was put across. I mean, the film itself is going to be. I think the film itself is going to be incredible, especially with the Batman fighting scene and stuff like that. But it's the whole thing. It's opened up a can of worms with showing. Would I say shown too much? Slightly, yes, but it hasn't revealed how this is all going to come down. This is the thing that most people are missing. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's revealed too much. It's shown too much of the film and all this lot." I don't think it has. The main focus of the film, obviously, with the title Batman v Superman, the creature at the end that we saw is not the main focus of the film. The main focus of the film is actually the conflict between Superman and Batman. So obviously, the film is going to be more focused on them than the thing at the end. As for the Trinity, I think that was a cool scene. I think that was an absolutely brilliant scene. And I actually heard Batman say, fuck. That was funny. I mean, he knew he was screwed at that moment when it stood there and it was about to use the blast on him, and he went, oh, fuck. That was just fucking classic scene right there. But then all of a sudden, Wonder Woman jumps in like a absolute badass, stands in front of that blast, took the full force of it with the shield. And I mean, if you want girl power in a film, that's it. I think Gal Gadot brings it with Wonder Woman in that trailer alone. And I think she's gonna. I don't know whether that's gonna be the first time we see her in the battle suit in the film. I don't know, but that's that one scene where she stood there with the shield and she just like shield there like that. And then all she does that, she looks at it and she's like looking at it, and I think, whoa, total focus and badass warrior. That is the way Wonder Woman should be in a film, and kudos to that, because that is just fantastic selling that, especially the way she stands there with the shield in one hand, the sword in the other, in between Batman and Superman. And I think they make it a little bit light-hearted when you hear Superman say, "Is she with you?" Batman, you see Batman turn around and say, I thought she was with you, sort of thing. So obviously these two don't know who she is. So she just comes out of nowhere. So that's going to be an interesting point in the film, I think, because they don't know who she is. All of a sudden, she just jumps into the battle with them. So that's going to be an interesting fight with them taking on this creature. So yeah, I think it's going to be a cool scene. As for the creature itself, it's kind of hard to say because it could be Doomsday. Yes. It's hard to say because it doesn't look like Doomsday. And I know this is only its first stage. And obviously what people seem to forget in that Doomsday does change every time it gets knocked down or gets killed, because then it comes back even stronger and its body changes to be more defensive. So whether I'm hoping if this is Doomsday in the film that we saw in the trailer, I am hoping that Zack Snyder has done the right thing by making the creature change towards the end during the fight, or possibly that what we saw in the trailer might not be the final scene that we see. They could, with editing, they might not have had enough time to get the editing right, so they just like shoved that trailer out. So when the film comes, it won't look like that in the film. It'll look a lot similar to what we know as Doomsday. That is what I'm hoping. If they do it that way, I'm hoping they do it that way. I really do. But it's not hard to re-edit things in film. And to be quite honest, we've got until what, March? Was it 25th of March 2016? And we're only in December 6th now. So yeah, they got a couple of months to sort that out. But hopefully that's sorted out. But the thing is as well, is that because it's involving Lex, you got two other creatures as well. You got like Subject 17, which was in the comic book. So it's hard to say. And you got Wrath as well. So this is going to be a very hard. It's going to be all rumors and fan opinions until it's like confirmed that it is Doomsday in the film from official sources. So that's going to be hard to say with that. But yeah, I'm absolutely super hyped for Batman v Superman. I didn't like the way the trailer came across because I think the other trailers gave it a bit more impact. But still, this is a Batman versus Superman film. So yeah, I'm super hyped about this film for next year. Also as well, which I noticed with which I knew was coming out anyway, because obviously I'm the owner of Movie Nights, so I knew this film was coming out, which was shown actually the PlayStation experience, Ratchet and Clank. Now I know the film was coming out anyway because they were doing the film, but I think the film looks kind of funny. It's going to be an interesting film to actually watch in animation because it's the first time they're actually doing an animation film based off a game. As for the game itself, what they showed at a PlayStation experience was actually a pretty good game. I like the way what they've done with it. They've given it a bit more. They've given it a graphic upgrade. So yeah, the gameplay looks quite cool, and I'm actually looking forward to actually looking out for that game when it comes out. As for the other things, PlayStation experience, not really impressed. Some of the games I'm not being funny enough in, but like, let's say for instance VR. Now they talked about VR, the Sony VR. I'm not being funny, but what they showed at PlayStation Experience is not going to sell it, and I mean that heartily. I'm not saying that as a fanboy because I'm not a fanboy. I'm a PlayStation owner myself. I play, my choice of console is a Sony PS4 because I prefer to play on it. So I'm not a fanboy. I'm saying this from Sony's point of view of selling financially. I don't think the games that they're bringing out that they showed for VR are not going to sell it very well. I'm sorry to say that, but it's not. The only two games that I saw them show was Eagle Flight and Gollum. I mean, they didn't show any of the Deep. They didn't show any of the others. So I'm wondering whether they're keeping them games for. There's a few other games that they had on VR as well that were coming for it, but I've got a feeling that they're keeping them for the E3 conference show. I'm not sure when that will be, but they're not really the lineup that they showed at a PlayStation Experience. I'm sorry, is not going to sell it. It's not that is not a strong enough. What's what you call? It's not a strong enough lineup for the VR. I mean, these games are indie shit. I'm sorry to say, but they are. I know a lot of people will think like indie games are great and all that lot, but there's a few of us that absolutely hate indie games. We're getting sick and tired of them. They're generic, old-fashioned bullshit platform games. Oh, I'm sorry, but you putting them in VR. I understand Sony doesn't want to push the VR too far at the moment because they don't know which direction it's going to go in. See, it could fail. At this point, it could fail or it could work. See, now VR was tried back in the 90s in the arcades and it didn't hit off quite so well. But obviously, with the graphics being better now, the more technology that we got now might actually help it. But here's the thing. Sony needs to bring out AAA games for it. Otherwise, it's not going to be appealing and it's not going to sell. It's going to hit them financially if they try to sell sell VR now with that lineup. They need to have a stronger games for it because those games that they showed, Eagle Flight and Gollum was the only two strong games for it, but the rest of them, sorry, they were absolutely shit. I'm sorry, but they were crap. I'm not saying that because I don't like indies. I'm not being funny, but those games look absolutely dog shit. I'm sorry, but they did. It's just old-fashioned, generic, freaking bullshit games for it, and it's just not going to be a good selling point for the Sony's PlayStation VR. I think they should have shown a bit more of the other games that they got coming for it, like the Heist and the Deep. There's a few other ones as well that's coming out for the PlayStation VR that they should have shown PlayStation experience, and it would have been a more appealing selling point to it, I think. But I just, at the moment, I don't think it's going to sell that well because of for what they're doing, they need to step up their game and show more games for it. There's a few other things that I already know that's coming out for the PlayStation 4. Obviously, Uncharted 4, which I'm looking forward to. Not really fussed about the multiplayer side of it because I'm not really a fan of multiplayer games. Yes, I do play them. They're kind of like a pick-me-up game. I've still got my Battlefield 4 game. No, I didn't buy Star Wars Battlefront, and I'll explain why in a sec, because I'm not getting frigging conned by EA. Fuck you, EA. But yeah, it's kind of a pick-me-up game, so I'm not really fussed about that. Primal. Far Cry Primal looks absolutely fantastic. I'm glad to see that they kind of went in a different direction. Obviously, I thought they would have, after the last one, they would have gone like into the futuristic type of way, but they've taken it right back to the prehistoric age, which I like because it's basically bows, spears, and arrows, and I kind of like the way you have to become a beastmaster, tame the beast, and tame the beast, tame the spirit within. You become the beastmaster. You know what I mean? And I kind of like that because there's apparently up to 17, they said up to 17 animals you could control in that game. So that's going to be an awesome game. You know what I mean? Going around like shooting cavemen with bows and arrows and stuff like that, riding mammoths and, other things in the prehistoric world. I'm actually quite surprised to put the saber-tooth in there as well. So that's going to be an interesting to play. So yeah, that's looking forward to that. They didn't show much of Horizon Zero Dawn, which I think was possible. They will show more of that in the E3. I think they're keeping those type of games for E3. But Hitman, I'm looking forward to. They've done pretty good work from what I've seen of it. I do like those games. quite challenging to get a proper like assassinations with that game because it's quite hard to play sometimes. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. No Man's Sky. I'm kind of an offense. It looks great. It looks a great game because I kind of like the way where you can fly into a planet, land on it, make things your own, like name things and stuff like that, and then fly off back through the atmosphere and back into space and across to another galaxy. I kind of like that idea. That's a kind of genius, the imagination of the game developers. I like that. But I've got a feeling that that game is going to be short-lived for some reason. I think people are going to get bored with it. It's going to be, I think, it's going to be a pick-me-up game. Like play for a couple of hours, then put down, leave it for a while, then play it again. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be one of those games, which is a shame because I've just got a feeling that it's going to be a very boring game to play for some reason. But who knows with that game? They've also showed a new feature for Destiny, which, for the love of God, why? Racing with the speeder bikes that they got on there. The Scarabs, I think they called them, or Scarrows, whatever they call them anyway. Yes, I did buy into the hype when I first got Destiny, and this is the reason why I found out it was a complete and utter dog shit of a game. I got rid of it after 4 weeks of playing it because I was bored as hell doing it's not so much the grinding I had a problem with. It's doing the same thing over and over and over again. And like, it's just the loot system as well. You know what I mean? Trying to get your character level and level up. Unless you've got a good group of friends or, group of people that are willing to come on, like play it all the time and like do the raids and stuff like that to get the equipment. The game is just fucking bullshit. I mean, the story of it is just there's absolutely no story on it. There's no replay value, and the characterization is shit. There's nothing to like get you involved in the character that you've created, and it's just piss poor. Mentioning about Bungie, Paragon, they showed. I am hoping, and I seriously say this, I am hoping that they don't go the route, because obviously it's obviously the makers of Destiny. I'm hoping they don't go the route that they did with Destiny. I'm really hoping that this has got a good story to it. I'm hoping that they put a background story with the characters. I'm hoping they learned their mistake from Destiny with Paragon, and not make it a generic bullshit frigging game where you're just running around doing shit and not like getting a feel for the character that you're playing or anything like that. I'm hoping that they put a decent story on it to give the characters a bit more life to them, you know what I mean, instead of just running around shooting shit. So I'm hoping they do that with Paragon, even though the game looks absolutely incredible, Paragon, and I think they said it was an exclusive to PS4. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing what they do with that, but I'm not going to buy it day one. So yeah, I mean, like I said, with the VR, it's just not good selling point. I mean, 100-foot freaking giant robot golf. What the fuck is that shit? Come on, Sony, for fuck's sake, give us better games than that. Oh dear God, terrible fucking game. It's their babyish games, and if you're trying to sell VR, give us something better. I mean, I noticed Ace Combat 7 and that was coming out, so that I've played an Ace Combat game before and it's okay, but I mean in VR it probably looks better because they probably got you in the cockpit of the jet you're flying around with, so That would be cool to have like a 360-degree turn, like vision of in the cockpit. You're in the actual jet itself. That would be cool in the game if they have done it that way. Because they did that once back in the 90s with a game similar to that. Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter, the new Street Fighter game. That actually looks pretty decent game. I haven't played Street Fighter in years, but I might actually get that game when it comes out because it actually looks pretty cool. It's changed quite a lot since the first time they brought it out. Obviously, it's changed over time, so I might actually get that. I like the way they sniped with each other. Friggin' if you didn't leave Capcom, you would have had all this press. It's like firing guns at each other, you know. But yeah, there's a few other things as well. I'm not too sure about King of the Fighters game. I have played it once before. Can't remember where. I think it was on PlayStation 2. I think I played King of the Fighters. I'm not sure. But yeah, I remember playing it once and wasn't overly impressed on the fighting game, but no. But hopefully it'll be a good game. There's a few other things coming out for Mortal Kombat X. We've got new horror icon coming, Leatherface. And also Bayou. And I think it's Cyrex. I think the red one. I think it's called Cyrex. I think it's Cyrex, or the other one. And a surprising selection, Alien Xenomorph. Actually bringing a Xenomorph to Mortal Kombat X. I think that's badass. I mean, they brought the Predator for it, but wow. They actually bring in the Xenomorph as well. That'd be interesting to see the storyline with that. Because that'd be like the entire world of Mortal Kombat like perishing from freaking turning into Xenomorphs, and there'd be a massive army of Xenomorphs to take over the entire like realm of Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? They just kill everyone. That'd be interesting. But yeah. Well, hoping with next year, film wise, there's quite a few films. There's about 59 films I noticed. Obviously, I did a video on that on my Movie Nights YouTube channel. A couple of good films coming out for next year, like Civil War, Captain America 3, Civil War, which I've got a feeling, I'm not saying this to be funny against Marvel fans. I think it's going to be overshadowed by Batman v Superman. I'm sorry to say, but it will. I think it will be. Not that it don't look good, but I think it's going to be overshadowed by it. But yeah. Equally good films coming out as a few. I'm looking forward to Fifth Wave, which looks good, starring Chloe Mendes. I think it's Mendes. Yeah, Montano, whatever her name is. She's starring in it, so that's going to be an interesting film to watch next year. So yeah. Give us your thoughts on what you think of the PlayStation experience. Do you think the indie games were pretty shit or good? No. I mean, for me, it's not a very good lineup of games. I think this year's PlayStation experience was a little weak with game lineups. Apart from a few games that they did show that were good, but the rest of it, I'm sorry, was weak. They're not really selling the PlayStation 4 that well at the moment with those lineups, so it's going to be a hit or miss with this. Give us your thoughts on what you thought of the PlayStation experience. No fanboy comments, please. We freaking seriously hate fanboy comments. But yeah, I mean, what do you think of the VR lineup? Give us your thoughts on that. This is your boy Dragon Scorpion 77 on a Sunday afternoon, signing out.